All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're all welcome. This is Kumasi Rising, and it's such an honor to be with you this morning to host this program. I am Sewami, I work with the EIB Network. And today, we'll be having a lot of conversations, especially about the creative industry. And I'm happy to see everyone. Let's put our hands together for Sarkodie, who is the reason why we're all gathered here. And of course, I see a lot of industry persons, I see bloggers, I see journalists. Good morning to all of you, and you're welcome. This morning, we'll be talking about culture. We'll be talking about putting Kumasi on the global creative map. Today, we gathered as thinkers, as doers, as makers, and as dreamers. And we gathered here to explore how this beating heart of culture and creativity can rise just not in talent, but in structure as well. I mean, the man for which reason we are all gathered here has done it. We can all attest to the fact that Sarkodie has been there, done that. He's a legend in the industry. And today we'll hear from him how he built it, how he did it, because I know that many people want to know how he's been able to be consistent all of these years. And so over the next few hours, you hear from himself, you hear from producers, you hear from entrepreneurs, you hear from content creators, you hear from tourism operators, and media consultants as well, business executives like Mariam here, and persons who believe that Kumasi is not just rising, but Kumasi is certainly ready for what is next. So you're officially welcome. This is Kumasi Rising. Once again, I am Sewama here, and I hope that we all have a good time. The bloggers, I know that you want content, but please, let's try to manage the situation beautifully so that you can hear everything that will be said, so it's more impactful. Also, we'll be opening the floor for questions. So if you have a question, note it down. Sarkodie will be speaking to us first. And so note your questions down, and then when it's time, I'll give you the opportunity to ask those questions. So once again, you're officially welcome. It's good to have all of you here. Let's put our hands together and welcome Sarkodie, the man for which reason we're gathered here this morning. Oh, you can do it best. I would have, before he starts, I mean, while we're waiting, I would have given a rap, but I don't think people want to hear me rap, so. Oh, I don't think so. They don't want to. Do you want to? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. It's not loud enough. Look at the number of people here and the number of people saying yes. If you make it louder, maybe I will.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I thought you were going to give me some time to sensitive, but I guess I'm the first one to speak. Thank you guys. God bless you. Thank you for coming. So we are having a Alcoholic Homecoming, and it's only right. It's been years since we started Alcoholic. We came back big. So we said to the team, we're not just coming here to do a show and that's it and go back. We have to leave an impact. So we had a power-packed activations throughout when I came. And today is very important to me because this talks about the industry that made Sarkodie and how we can all have conversations about moving forward, what we can do as the creatives, the players, all the key people that we can all be together to make a better industry for ourselves. I'm not here as an artist that knows everything. I'm here to learn. I've seen the squad on the panel. It's amazing. I'm here to pick some knowledge. And I hope some of us here, I know we have artists here. I see my superstar who's looking in the building. God bless you, my brother. I know there will be some artists here that I might not see or recognize, but yes, hopefully we all pick something out of the panel today. So the main conversation we're having is talking music. Also, I see tourism. Music, of course, is Sarkodie, so that's my domain. And then with the importance of music, I'll start with the fact that music preserves our culture, our language. You know, you can capture time, you can capture moments with music. If there's some songs that when they play, it takes you back to a certain time, right? Like you know where you were, exactly what was happening. So sometimes to record history, music is one of the best tools, to use. To archive it, our struggles, our happiness, everything. we use music to take us back to time. We have a lot of genres that does that, especially I can speak for Afrobeats and reggae. You know, these songs represent struggles. As much as people think Afrobeat is like a dance genre that has no content to me, I think the melodies in there still reminds us as Africans where we came from. And no matter what our struggles are, we find a way to dance. So as far as history is concerned, music played a major role. And by doing that, we were able to build ambassadors organically. If you take the likes of Bob Marley, you take Fela Kuti, here in Ghana you take Daddy Luma, you can come all the way to Shatawale myself, Kudu Flake, Kudu Smoke, a lot. And we are all ambassadors, whether through the music itself, performances, whatever that we can do as artists to be able to keep the legacy of Ghana going, we still do it. And from there, you intertwine that with tourism as a vehicle for legacy. Now, we're in a great space now because of where Afrobeat is. Now we have Afro Nation worldwide. Now, Africans in the diaspora are more confident to call themselves Africans because of music, what we've been able to do. The people in the forefront, the Davidos, the Brenna, myself, our 2Bs, we brought our culture back. We made us very, very confident when we go out there. Years back, I didn't live in abroad, but I know that people in the diaspora, they used to feel very shy to even associate themselves to their roots. But when music came in, it became a tool for us to be proud and go out there with our full chest. Doing things like festivals, as I said, Afro Nation, like Rapaholic that we're about to do. I know a lot of people are coming. I heard the flights are booked. I'm trying to get my wife here. It's been very hard for me to get her here. That should tell you what is happening in Kumasi this weekend. A lot of people are coming down here. And that's where the tourism and music comes together. Because Sarkodie is doing Rapaholic, but just for that, we have people coming in from, I think it started from yesterday. We're getting tickets from yesterday to Sunday. So you have people here before the show, so you can guess what they're doing before the D-Day. They're going out there, they are doing sightseeing, they're going to the museums, all the sites here in Kumasi. So this shows how strong and how connected music and tourism is. So now, today, what I want to take away is how we can impact the people themselves, you guys, the consumers, and how we can do how we can empower our creative industry. So Kumasi Rising, I'll limit it to Kumasi because the talent here is amazing. I think I said this years before Kumasi got the attention that they needed. I've always been coming to Kumasi to do shows and I've seen the swag, the energy here. I can't compare it to anywhere else. You know, the type of music Kumasi was doing, the Asaka movement, people think it just came 2 or 3 days ago. It's been in the system since I came to Sarkodie. I used to come here and perform in Loud FM. And before I perform, I'll be watching the artists that come. I'm like, what type of sound is this? This is crazy. And they've been consistent and now getting the attention that they need. So I would definitely want to encourage investment in the local arts here in Kumasi. And that's one thing that most investors are very scared of. But one thing I can say for sure, music is one of the most safest and lucrative business you can get into. I can compare music to any other product you can think about, whether it be water, real estate, anything. To me, I will rate music over real estate. And people might not believe that. But let's say you own a company, which I see a lot of companies do, where they have workers that they pay monthly, they pay to service machines, a lot of money, the cost to even run that business. Yes, music takes money, but once it takes off, can you imagine that Numbers catalog is making more money? To me, I think he's making more money now than when he was even alive. Michael Jackson is the same. You know, so this is an industry that you can't just see it as entertainment and people are just jumping and that's it. This is a serious money-making machine. And I would urge investors, and I understand sometimes it's really hard to have a conversation with investors because they don't understand what it really is. It's about ownership, whether it's partnership. Sarkodie, I own 100%. You can come with partner, you own 20, you own 50, depends on what you bring on board. I think for a long time, and I'm not limiting this to just wealthy people with the money, with the cash to come in. Even you as an individual, can actually buy shares in music as well. I did that with one of my EPs called Championship, where the fans own 40% of the revenue. They make money every month. And they can tell you, just to put in some coins and eat for the rest of your life, how many businesses are going to do that? If your workers don't show up tomorrow, your business might suffer. Music is different. The more you guys are enjoying, I don't think you guys are about to stop enjoying any moment soon. You guys are getting married every day, having, especially in Kumasi, even so that keeps the money going, because the more you guys are enjoying, the artists make money. So when you invest in it, that's when you're getting out of it. So now what we need to do to wrap all this thing up is to build an ecosystem around it, to be able to maintain it, control it. And now, yes, we control the narrative of what we want people to think about Ghana, when we think about Ghana. Music is one of the easiest tools to use. So the ecosystem around it, which I won't say everything, I'm just giving you a separation of what's going to happen here with the people coming on board, because I want to learn a lot. I have my own ideas, but I'll speak later. I think I'm coming on a one-on-one. But yes, we need to build the ecosystem around the creative industry so that we know the rules of who and what, and how we can all play our parts to make this the bigger conversation and then the success of our industry. So I want to say this: music moves people, tourism brings them together, but legacy changes lives. So now that's the legacy we're looking for. We have to preserve it. When we did Rapaholic, I mean, that was last year or 2 years, so we did 2 years ago. And we did the Rapaholic exhibition. I don't know if you guys heard it. You know, it was amazing in Accra, where my whole achievement was curated in a building for people to come and see. And I even went there looking at that myself. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Now, if you could do that for most creative people, let's imagine having that for Daddy Lumba, Kodechi, Amachi Dede, Shakawale. It's going to be amazing. So we need to keep legacy, and that is where we are right now, to have conversation around how we can be together as an ecosystem and protect it and play our part, our key roles to keep this running. I won't take too much time because I know we have amazing people coming on to speak, and I'm here to learn as well. So thank you guys for coming, and I'll come back. God bless you.
Let's put our hands together for Sarkodie one more time. Are the SAC natives here?
Yes.
Oh, that's not good enough. Are you here? SAC Nation, are you here? And I see a lot of, I see Don Sassas came all the way from Accra. Let me see the people who have come all the way from Accra for this morning's event. Sarkodie. Let's put our hands together for the SAC natives. So in just a moment, Sarkodie and I will be sitting to have a conversation. And I know that many of you have been yearning to ask him, like I said earlier, how he has been able to remain consistent all over these years. So if we can have the seats. I know that you just took your seat, but we're going to make it we're going to make it very quick so that we can hear the other people speak as well. Let's put our hands together for Abeku Santana, who's the Deputy CEO for the Ghana Tourism Authority. And let's also welcome Sarkodie once again. Maybe I met her. Can we have the microphones, please? And I know that my producers haven't asked me to take questions for Sarkodie, but if you will allow me, I'm going to take 5 questions for Sarkodie because they can't always be asking the questions, right? The fans have also, also get the opportunity. So put your questions down, but some cases are not part of this because you get the opportunity to interact with him all the time. So you are not part of this. Please give one to Sarkodie, and then give me one. So 5 questions for Sarkodie. Lawrence, Nabil, please. Thank you. Once he's done with this session, 5 questions. Please don't come and ask questions about what is his favorite food and stuff. We want mind-throwing questions. All right. All right, so this session is going to be very brief, like I said. There are so many artists here, industry people here, and I'm sure that Sarkodie is happy to see all of you. So get your questions ready, 5 of them. But Sarkodie, thank you very much for agreeing to do this one-on-one conversation. Like many people would want to know, let's start with your legacy and your career. Starting, what were some of the decisions that you feel that you made that has brought you this far?
I think I had the best experience as far as the question you're asking me, because I didn't have the tools like what we have today. We doing this. I didn't have that when I was coming. I didn't have somebody sit down and speak for me to pick few things, which is good and bad. The good side is I was allowed to make my mistakes on the go. So I was figuring it out, but for some reason I just felt like being authentic was one thing that stood out for me. So you hear Sarkodie, you see Sarkodie, you only see Sarkodie, and hear Sarkodie. I don't want you to start to think, oh, is it like this guy, or so authenticity was like my top priority in the beginning. And also taking things slow and not skipping the process, because that's the way you build anything strong. Whether being a building, career, anything, you can do your checks. It's facts. You have to go through the process. If you skip it, it's not strong enough. So I think that's what I did. I took time to go through everything. When I say everything, that I say that's my big boss, Mr. Big Boss Santana. He's on the day one. He's been there till today, so he can tell you what the grind was. There was no skipping process. You have to go through it. Yes, literally don't skip it. Just go through it. That makes you build a strong brand. That makes people feel attached to it. So I sell story more than music. Music is the icing on the cake. You sell a story. Sarkodie was once a guy walking on the street. So if you ask a typical South Asian, they know the story. The music they like, of course, they can rap, but it's more of the story. They see themselves like you, that it's possible for them to go from here to there. And together, that's my strongest selling point that makes the brand Sarkodie. And I would say the last one is loving what I do. And when you say you love something, people just throw that thing around. But you love something is way deeper than how people say it. If you can quit something, you don't love it. If you can feel like you want to stop doing something, you don't love it. And I have this funny thing that I said. There's a shop in Taiwan. This woman, people don't even go there to buy it, but she's always open. And that usually, I know the only person that will open is that woman. It's just consistency, but she just loves opening the shop and just being there. So that's the same thing with music for me. I love music. I didn't do music to become Sarkodie, a famous person, and people discover I want to just when I rap to somebody, the person is excited. That's to me my thing. I enjoy it. Still today, that's what I want. When I'm writing, I'm thinking about Salvation, Channel reading about they're gonna love this. Still today, that's what I do. I don't sit down to write hits. I don't do all of that. It's out of love. So when you love something, the ups and downs come to go, but you can stand it because you don't even notice that there's ups and downs. All you notice is just making music. That to me will be the top one to build a legacy. You have to really get into what you're doing.
Okay, I mean, speaking about consistency, let's get into it because there are people who have been doing this for quite a while, but they haven't gotten anywhere close to where you are. How do they not give up? Because I have sat down and looked at certain people and said, I just stop singing already because it's probably not working. You don't think that I'm not the only one who has said that, right? I'm sure that you've all seen one artist or the other and said, it's okay. This rap is not working, you do something else. But you say that you stuck with it. You were consistent with it. If there's someone who's listening, who definitely, I know a lot of these people will be listening. How did you manage to go through, that waiting period? Because you make it sound very easy, but I'm sure that it wasn't as easy as you make it sound.
I believe that. I've had this conversation with other people. They said the same thing. That yeah, you're saying it, but it's not that easy. But mind you, I was in the same space. There was a lot of people that were not liking what's happening with it as well. So if you think, even to this, there's two people that doubt, which I understand. It's life. That's what you have to understand. It's life. Some things are not meant for everybody. Some will like it, some won't. But funny enough, as humans, we are wired to respond to the ones that doesn't go in our favor. So you can say yes, 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 yes. When somebody says, you be shocked that you focus on that comment and try to understand why the person said that. So that's what we normally do. We get stuck in time on the negative energy. I don't have to be a fan. I keep telling people that come to me, even young artists, this is Sarkodie, what do you think? I'm like, my opinion, I can say something that will bless you, but I might not like it, but I'm not the one to tell you whether you're going to make it or not. Maybe it's not made for me. So that attitude of knowing that you're heading somewhere, you see things at night. When you sleep, when you're alone, you know what you're seeing. Nobody can be able to interfere with that. One thing I can say as someone is I'm a very strong person when it has to do with decisions. When I make a decision, that's it. Nothing you can do to stop it from going. So that one maybe might be you have to work on yourself to get to that point where you need that resilience to be able to move further. But if you listen to stuff and you get stuck in your journey and then you can't move forward, that's where you trouble yourself. So build that resiliency and just keep going. I think you're going to make it.
Do you get to speak with a lot of upcoming artists and tell them these things? Especially, let's focus on the Kumasi artists. Do you get to tell them some of these?
When I get a chance to have a one-on-one, I'll pass on my knowledge. I believe journeys are different, but we have certain facts that everybody can apply. So somebody's journey might be different on how they're going to grow, because I see certain routes that people take that I didn't believe in it, but it made it. So all I would say is just keep doing what you're doing and love it. So when I get a chance to meet them one-on-one, I've met a few of them and we have conversation. Yeah.
But I'm sure that you've also seen some take a certain approach that you think isn't the best. Have you?
Yes.
And have you reached out to them to let them know? In the position that you are, being a
I've
legend.
done that before.
You have? To who?
You want me to be specific or?
Yes.
Well, I can't mention names, but there are certain artists that I knew, and then they were responding to things that I felt in the long run will go against them. Because it's about what you say, what you put out there. So I reached out like, calm down. I know things can get to you, but be very careful what you say. Because people will be watching you with what you said, instead of just listening to what you're doing, or the music you're putting out. So things like that can reach out. If it's that level, I think, and I'm close to you, I will.
Okay. Now, with Kumasi specific, the artists here, what do you think is the problem? What do you think is the reason why they're not getting the kind of mileage and exposure that they should get?
So to be honest, if you ask me, I don't think there's any thing called like a limitation. Or to me, I think they are getting a fair share of what's happening.
Are they? And why are they?
Yeah.
No. So the journalists here say no. So
No, you see,
it's not gonna happen.
you see, one thing is when you take everything on a grand scale, right? Let's take it all the way out to Africa, right? Ghanaians always complain, Nigeria, I'm not going to say, Ghana for long. When you take it on the grand scale, Obi Oshoko was so kind of Omo Oshe Sierra Leone, Omo Oshe Kenya, what was that place?
But some people argue that if the whole country,
Yes.
if the artists in the entire country could come together, maybe we could be a force to fight or go head to head with the Nigerian artists, but we are not. So the Kumasi artists for many people are behind. And you are saying you don't see that, but the journalists here say they see that. I mean, do you see that as well? Yeah.
Okay, let me make one comment. So I was, of course, when I see this in I still see that, okay,
at least if you have these number of artists like from Kumasi, it's not that bad. Other regions can also complain. But what I see works, not just music, daily business. That's why we're here today, the ecosystem around it. Because what we do is point fingers. Media men will see the artists the media men, and then the fans too. It's an ecosystem. And if you see the ecosystem as you being part of it, your role will be your top priority. Trust me, the crowd, even the consumers are part of the ecosystem. When you go out there and we're doing shows in London, and then somebody says, oh, the Ghana, no, that's where it starts. So me, my top priority is that if you come on my page, my main page, if I have to post any song, this one is my CV that better than everyone knows. It has to be from the Ghanaian. You can go all the way back to, you can go and check whether you think I'm lying.
It has to be again your song or any other song.
Any other song that is not
But
my
do you
song.
support artists, upcoming artists like
That is my top priority. I'm not
Do you?
perfect. Yes, of course. I'm not perfect. I'm saying I'm better than
That's me?
No. No. After
Let's put our hands together. I mean, I just need it to go.
So it's a whole ecosystem. Sometimes the conversations we are having can also drag us back. Right? Instead of really talking about this person has done this, this one has done that. So I want to see you on the BET or the Grammy stage. Guess what? When you are on that red carpet, I will be a top priority when you see you.
Right.
So that is how it happens. When Stoneboy, Shatawale, Blacko, Sarkodie gets on the red carpet, there's a bunch of Nigerian presenters. They are waiting for their guys, right? So when they see me, they're talking to me and they see the video, oh, Sarkodie, I'll be back, man. So then you see more of that. So there's more to it. I used to go to the BET and I'll be there by myself. Every time I've been at the BET, the time that I won, it was only me and my team. My best BET experience was when Strongman won because I was there with Strongman, my team Michelle, and John DeMello. Can you imagine? We are in LA, we have our table, we are vibing, now we go and see the stars and come back to your people. But then every time the other, the person will give you see them, bunch of them, the media, the producers, the businessmen, the artists. To me, the artist is always the icing on the cake. To make this thing happen, the artist is the last part. Artists are doing music. If you want to have a big concert, to date, we don't have me, Storm, Shatawale on the stage outside Ghana.
Why?
That's the point. So that's where the ecosystem comes in. So people have to be leaders. You have to lead and have vision of leaving a legacy. Stop saying Shatawale, what your Sarkodie friend on my way. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. You know. I said the papa.
But let's say they're not.
And I'm here. So it's way bigger than we have a conversation about just investors, artists. It's bigger. We'll be out for the role and let's play it. And that's why I'm excited for today, because we're not talking about one problem from artists or this. It's a whole ecosystem. And when we all enjoy, funny enough, you will start making more money as a radio host if the country is thriving. Let me change this. I'm very passionate. I try to control myself with this one, but this is a conversation that's really dear to my heart. Sure. I remember speaking to Channel O when Channel O was like very huge at that time, and I said, "Why are you guys not hosting the awards here in Ghana?" And they said it straight to my face. There is nothing going on in your country, right? There is nothing happening in your country that's interesting enough from our PR perspective for people to feel like, "Oh, Ghana, that's what we're going." At that point, there was nothing happening. And I came back, I'm like, okay, so what are we doing? How can we do stuff together? Let's put this aside. Trust me, with the pride that people talk about the artists and this, is West Nigeria. But we have people who can put that aside and bring them together. If you wanted to wait for Whiskey development and we go to be an abandoned, it was never going to happen in our lifetime. This is artists. Creating people is different. We are in our own boxes. But when Sewaba here becomes the leader, and now creates a relationship with Shatawale, Stoneboy, and Sarkodie. It's a phone call. Shatawale is I'm going to my money. Sarkodie is then you get all of us together, you put us on one of the biggest stage. If you do this in London, you can imagine what will happen.
So, and I'm interested in this one because every time a Nigerian has sold out at the O2, for instance, this conversation comes up. Which Ghanaian artists can sell out the O2? And I have maintained the position that the three of you, can do it easily. Are you now saying that it's just, you're ready to do it, but it's just a matter of someone putting all three of you together, I mean yourself, Stoneboy, Shatawale, to make it happen? Are you ready to do it?
I'm not even saying we have always been ready. So let me just say this. You see what you just said about Nigerian actors selling this and selling that.
Yeah.
Don't skip history. Before that happened, they were all put under one roof. Even me, part of it, Shatta, part of it, School, part of it, Tanzania, Diamond, part of it. When they got the data, that is when we started seeing them using the data for one. So they didn't start Westgate show, they didn't start Benamo show, not the video show. There was one Africa concert, it was on club, there was all these festivals that we were doing, and then they were able to gather Africans and people in the diaspora under one roof. Nobody was able to do those numbers. But when they came together as an ecosystem, they created that. And that's the format that they are using for individuals. So if you're thinking you're waiting for Sarkodie to go and gather all the Ghanaians in London at once, I'm not saying I'm not a good artist, but this is business.
Right.
So we need that ecosystem around the whole industry. And when we do that, like your brother said, you deal with me and Shatta and Schoolboy and BS for just that moment. After that, we is that's what happened. When they got the numbers, are they calling us to come and join again? When was the last time that you've seen that area parity with Nigerians? We will do the same thing.
Right.
If Mr. Beku says he's making Shatawale Stone, Sarkodie to London, and then Whiskey as a surprise guest, of course we're getting the numbers, but it's still a Ghana initiative. So until we get to do that, we can't complain.
So let me understand this. Why isn't that happening? You haven't got anybody to invest?
So let me give you a format of what happened in Nigeria. There's a guy called Robert Polo who did the one Africa concert.
Yeah.
So Polo deals with all of us. He will pamper you like baby, you know Polo. Okay, he's sacked now. We now have a
So you want to be pampered?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there is a lot that goes into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A leader knows how to deal with that.
Right.
Because they know what they want. It's beyond you. It's beyond Shatawale. It's bigger than even he himself. It's for the whole ecosystem. Now Polo is not active. But Polo, let me give it up to our Ghanaian brother, leader right here. All these people play the major role to where Afrobeat is today. So some people have to take the chance. We could be lucky that maybe ourselves and Shatawale are in talks already. Hopefully we can round up what we want to do. Sometimes we get to the final point and we move back. Hopefully this time we can do it. But this has been my stance over the years, and I don't feel like putting in negative energy out there. But what I'm saying is this is a big opportunity for anyone, it's not just a big good stuff today. Even if you are here, you have the leadership skills to be able to bring people together, organize stuff, do all these things. It's bigger than somebody's personality, or how somebody is, or how somebody speaks. Because it's way bigger than that. It's a whole ecosystem. Sarkodie, if Ghana doesn't survive, my legacy is not safe. So I can go and achieve this for myself. When I go to the BET and do the branding, it will be forgotten. I swear to God, like it will be. There was a post on the BET page talking about the first Afrobeat artist to sell out the Apollo. They forgot Sarkodie and they put better work. But it's not their fault. Because of how our industry is here in Ghana, we are not up there putting our narrative out there. I can do it personally as a PR, whatever, but it's beyond that. It's way bigger. All the artists in Nigeria are private because the big play and the whole industry is private.
You know, let me put on my journalist cap because you talk about putting you out there. And my colleague journalists are here. I have seen many journalists complain about how you artists don't appreciate them enough. When you're traveling, you don't travel with the journalists, you go on your own, then you send us pictures to post for you. We too, we deserve to sit in the plane and go with you, right? But you don't. But these other people put all of those infrastructures in place to make sure that, you know, the stories are getting out there as they're happening. Do you have plans in that regard to let them, you know, carry them with you?
Yeah, so we do. Personally, artists can take PR people and take them there. That is what you do personally. Strongman does a great work. I do that as well. You can go with people to put your narrative out there. That's different. That's your personal business. What I'm talking about goes beyond what you're doing personally. I've been there, done that. I've seen that I was creating legacy for myself, but I was missing out on putting that out there. I realized it wasn't because Sarkodie has to do everything right. It's way bigger. That's the point I'm trying to make. So we have other people that go out there, out of their way. I'm talking about promoters, the investors, I don't want to mention him, but I met one guy, one big man who owns a big company here in Ghana, who's a Nigerian. Met me at the suits shop, and I went to him, Baba, and then the Sarkodie said, oh, I remember you, we booked you for a show. How was everything going? How was Ghana? I have to support Whiskey, because I think he's doing amazing. So I put down, I don't want to mention the number, it's insane, right? I'm not saying everybody has to do that, but this thought process is different because the business is doing, he knows that the ecosystem around him will still support him as his business. So when you see it like that, even from a media perspective, if that's how you see it, Sarkodie calling me, yes, that would be a plus for me. But me personally, it's my agenda to push this country. That's all I'm going to do. If I don't have the money yet, but this is what I want to do. Peter Branson was doing it for us. We have additional people from Nigeria who does that. Nobody necessarily calls. When I do shows, he's the first person who is there to cover the show and put it out there, to change the narrative of what people think about Ghana. So all I'm saying is, the blame game, we can't do that. I will take it. But what you just said is true. Sarkodie, artists might be doing something. Same thing with the media. We are all not perfect. But let's look at the bigger picture. Even if you narrow it down to Kumasi, the top priority should be your people. If you do that, I think, yes, you thrive.
And I can't wait to talk to Abeku because I would like to know what the NDC government's plans are to push this agenda. Because we definitely have to sit down on the map, right? And I'm happy that Abeku has that position as the Deputy CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority. Now, when you were speaking earlier, you talked about the business part of music. The fact that there's an album of yours that you have, your fans had a share in the shares of that album. And over time, we've had conversations about people monetizing the work that they do as artists. And so after a period of time when they have retired or they are not as big as they were, they have nothing to show for it. There is no money, and even for some of them, even at a very early stage, they still don't have money to show for it. You have been able to do this. I don't know how much is in your bank account, but it's very obvious that you're doing very well. Who will be what do you think is the missing link? Why haven't we been able to monetize music properly as artists in Ghana and especially Kumasi?
So it's two. I said one there, investment, we really don't have investment. So most artists, if you ask them, will be putting his hard-earned money back into it. So Ghana will build a default entrepreneur without you trying to do one. It's good, but it's bad because it's not everyone who was built to do that. So when you become an entrepreneur, you know how that feels like. Every penny goes back into it. So to even treat yourself is hard. To go and just get yourself the things that you think you want is hard. You always have to put it back in. But if we have people to offload that pressure, all the young ones coming, trust me, there's a lot of talent. When I go on TikTok, it's crazy. Talent upon talent. But then people have to agree that there's a lot of investment that goes into music. That's number one. We don't really have that. And then when we have investors, music is a bit different. It's a long-term goal. It's a type of business that you have to wait for a while. If you are looking to cash out this same year, you don't come into music. You don't try to, let me invest and make money by December. That's not how music works. A long time, and then you go to the set for life. And I'm being honest, I can't compare any business to music. If anyone tells you that music doesn't make money, I'm here to tell you that's a big lie. One of the best is actually on the top. That makes people money. I'm talking individually. So imagine someone here who is controlling Shatawari, Sarkodie, so forth. Just imagine that. You are the one that owns Sarkodie, Shatawari, and so forth. You. That's it. So it's a good business to get in. The investors are a bit scared. But I think it's way safer than any other business because you notice this is where the money is. Then the next one, I have one in my head. What are we talking about?
We're talking about monetizing the music.
Monetizing, so that's the other part. We don't have that. Because our biggest numbers is here in Ghana. Whether I go to lie to ourselves or not, I make my money from the diaspora, which is the tiny bit of what I'm supposed to get as an artist. Because the good one I know, my top audience at the back end is funny enough, Kumasi.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Wow!
It's Kumasi before London, America, Accra. Yes, Kumasi is up there, and it's obvious. In some of the English, I am waiting. So Kumasi, but I'm missing out on making any money from Kumasi. unless my name on a daily basis, Kumasi is dreaming. We find ways that the government can make us collect all these and get back to the artists to put it back into the work we're doing. Since we don't have investments now, this is the little thing that we can get to make money. All these old age artists, what music can make for you money? There's no old age artists who should be asking for you money. From no one. But if you listen to their stories, somebody gave them some small change and then took the video. So now they don't have nothing to live for. So if that's if the system was right, nobody would have been able to get them to sell their catalog. So it's a lot. But these two, the investment part and then the monetization of the industry, if we get that right, Ghana wouldn't need to go anywhere. We're just going to be, we go there to do the looks and we still make money even if you are local.
There were rumors that you sold your cattle. Is that true?
Yeah, so we have partnerships. That's what I'm doing. I do distribution with Ito, Ziki, and now with the new company. So that's the luxury I have as an independent artist.
Okay.
You know, to be able to pick and choose who distributes my music.
Right. Okay. I want us to talk about government's role in all of this. Do you think that successive governments have done well in pushing this agenda?
I think the conversation between the creatives and the government has been a disconnect for them to really understand exactly what is needed. I think most governments, they really want to, but they don't understand how it actually works.
But you had a connection with the NPP party, you said.
I had a connection. You will be out.
But they said that you sang for them all.
I'm not taking the money as
Why did you?
Of course, I said a line that famous, you know, our ex, which I still stand by. Now I have politics, but in that the fear education I was afterwards, I'm still in support of this. So I was still praising it, whether you actually or not, I still stand for it. But I've not had the opportunity to sit with people in power. I think Mr. Big is here. That's my big brother. We can start having conversations on how we can push further the conversation on how to monetize our entertainment industry.
Okay. Now, before we'll be wrapping up very shortly, because I am told that my time is up and we have to go. Moving forward, what is the plan for Sarkodie? Maybe say you're doing very well for yourself already. What should we be looking forward to?
It's exactly what we're doing here today. I'm more excited about this. You can see when I was speaking how passionate I am. So let me tell you something. This space of Sarkodie is me 24/7 for the past, I think, 5 years. Music I do because the fans want it. And then I thank God that I have people that care about my music. But if I should tell you what interests Sarkodie, it's not me winning any award, me having any collaboration. I've been there, I've been in places where I feel like it's because my country is not that strong, whatever I'm building is not safe. So it makes me not that excited when I started. When I started, it was big for beginning, so I had no idea. All I wanted was go to the BT, do this, take a picture with this person. It was exciting. But when you get more into it, you go say, and more than that, it's your whole country that has to come with you. It's not just you building something and that's it. Because it will fade regardless. After a few years when everything is done, the industry is not strong enough. Because of Bernard, David Lewis, we still remember Fela. We care about him because they will put Fela music on a bigger scale. So if Coco Flake is not able to get back on the BT to perform, to say big shout outs to Sarkodie, what did I do? You get what I'm saying? So in the next phase of Sarkodie, that's what I'm passionate speaking like this. I really want us to build a way where I'm not focused on our era. We need a July and I think it's too late. But when we have the next generation where they can really push the envelope of what we took it to, I will be more, you know, what's the word? Satisfied. So the next phase of Sarkodie is to do anything possible to help. And recently we just launched, we're about to launch a new label. I've had a label assigned to artists, which has Kumasi, Strongman, doing amazing. But
are they still signed to your label?
No. We our contract ended, I think it was 2 years, 3 years.
Why did you renew it?
I like when, so my happiness is when people have independence, but I was a kickstart for them. Right? So I knew exactly what Akaba was going to do. I knew Akaba was going to find a tailor-made fan base. And it's exactly what he achieved. Everything I told him is happening. Akaba has shows and he sells out the shows. Akaba has a big mansion now, he has brand new cars. These are things that when I look at myself, like, okay, this is something I saw and I was able to come to pass. Strongman is doing amazing as well. So I want
But I'm sure that you're seeing those who have said that, you could have done a lot more better for Strongman.
that is always going to be the conversation. That shouldn't bother you as an investor. That's where I want you to go past. These are fans and critics and I will only see amount and only see amount. You shouldn't get to your head. The point is what we wanted to achieve is to make these guys big stars, and they are. That's it. So the next phase, we are about to do that again. So we are our ears are on the ground looking for new talents. Kumasi, definitely if you find somebody or some people that will give you the best you go. Then it goes beyond just Accra, Kumasi, and all other places. So we'll be doing a writing camp. We'll put out the information soon. Writing camp are best to spot out talent because there will be a lot of talents in one room, writing and singing. Then we'll pick from there. And also look at people on social media that we can reach out to people. So next phase of Sarkodie is just to give back to the industry. That way Sarkodie, that's it.
That's what I want to say. I promise that we're going to take 5 questions from the fans. No SAC native, please. Okay. Can I have an extra microphone? Okay. So, okay. Can I see 5 hands? Yes, I'll start with you. Yes, okay.
Hi, my name is Abna, and I want to know, when you were talking, you made mention of it's bigger than blaming each other, and it's true, very big than blaming each other. But you see, in process of life, you have the learning stages, you get to the waiting period, where you get to the end stage. Yesterday I was speaking to somebody, he said, Abna, and we soon get the extra. I believe whatever thing you aim to get, you are there already. So right now, I want to know, these upcoming artists, you'll reach out to them on certain levels. But I think you are at a stage where you need probably, you get to the mentorship stage and the teaching stage to give up back to the society like what you want to do. I was thinking if your team could be doing forums like this for the upcoming artists, so that we put all of them there, or people would know that Sarkodie wants to talk to us these days, especially the upcoming artists, the American guys and all these things, because we're talking about Kumasi. So if they know Sarkodie is coming to talk to us, so I asked, do you rectify petty mistakes? And he said, yes, you reach out to some of them. But right now, you don't get all of them because there are a lot of people who want to get access to you, they don't get. So I was thinking if your team, or when will your team put together days that, or a time, not in a year, maybe not once in a year, but some time to come, they'll put together like, okay, we are meeting Sarkodie here today, and he's coming to teach us what we really need to know about the music thing that we're doing. I think that would be very much appreciated. So if you have something to say about that.
Okay, thank you. Let's put our hands together for the Ashanti regional staff to join us. The next happy birthday to you, by the way. So we'll take 4 more questions, or let me take 2 more, then you answer the first 3. So I don't want a SAC native, please. So Yana is SAC native. So what I mean, if you are not a SAC native, what are you?
I am an industry person.
No, I want fans. Okay. Yes, please pass me.
Okay. So what do I know? Exactly what I media person. All right. Good morning to everyone. My name is K Official. I'm here on behalf of Global Media Alliance. That's the house of YFM Kumasi, where I belong. Real quick, sir, congratulations to you two. One is for something that's yet to happen.
Is there a question?
The question will come. All right, so congratulations in advance on a successful event because it is. All right, let's move on to. So when you were speaking, you said something that so, and I want to draw my question from that. So you spoke about how music is something prudent or something that very potent to savor culture or history, and you've actually taken a step bold enough in that regard to set up the Sarkodie the Rapaholic exhibition in Accra. First, I want to know, since you also spoke about how Kumasi has been top or at top of the people that consume your material or your music. Do we have any plans on getting it here? And then finally,
One question, please. I'm sorry.
okay, so
One question.
please, this is very important, please. Cut me some slack, please. We are from home. Anyway, so so the next one is since we're here and you are in a spirit of sharing, please can you share with us the best music business advice you received individually, personally from somebody that you can share? Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think you should answer this. That's two questions. So the first one,
Yes.
organizing forums.
Yes, this is a phase that we're in, as I said. At this point, this is where I am. I'm more comfortable this way. I believe that's all timing. When you feel like you are going to do it. In the beginning, I didn't feel like I was ready. I was still in the artist state of mind where you're angry, you're frustrated, you want to see it. So now it comes out as, so I might say something and miss the point. But now I can clearly articulate what I want to put out there. So I think it's the right time to speak to these young ones and put out some blueprints, not necessarily supposed to follow, but you can pick a few things that you can use as well to make the journey a bit smooth for you. And the first one was, exhibition. Actually, this Rapaholic, anyways, I know she doesn't like this. Whatever you saw there, this one I curated everything. She got it. Please give it up to Mama. And that's what advice that I would advise most artists. Don't always put around yourself people that are just into your business. You can add business people that understand the corporate side of the business and can marry the two, because there's a disconnect between the corporates and artists. When we sit in a room, not corporate for abbreviations and the MOU of the CA, then the TRC. But then when you have the right people around you, they can marry that relationship. I know sidebar, but when you watch me and Standard Chartered, that's like, and now that's the blueprint for most of the bands. They are signing on the artists. So yes, that's a side note. And then the Rapaholic, we were supposed to do the exhibition for this one. It's just time didn't work. What we have to do is to, even just this Saturday, what we have to go through to make this show happen is crazy. It's too hectic. So hopefully, yes, we'll come back to do that. Yes. That's what it was.
I think that's it. It was two, yes. So two more questions because the minister has to speak. Okay, I'll give one side please a chance. Okay, the lady. Oh, I'll come to you. Okay, I'll come to you.
Wait. Let me talk before you talk. Hello, my name is Sarkodie. I'm a fact native from Kumasi and also an entertainment pundit. I want to ask her, when I was young, you used to come to old school reunion. I really love for you to do that thing back again. Being a legend now, I think if you do that in Kumasi with the young artists, it's going to pull them up. That's the only thing I want to say. Thank you.
Is this something you're going to do? It's part of the plan. Okay, Atupa. That's your name?
Yes.
Atupa.
My first name is Atu, my last name is Pam. My father is from the Pam, my mother is from the Pam.
So you are Tupa.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
Angel is a good friend. And sir, when you mentioned the fact that Abek was there from the beginning, some of us were also there from the beginning, hosted in 2009. I'm an OG. So we are happy to see you, and I'm happy to see you flourish like this. My question, you mentioned the fact that you want to see entertainment, tourism, like you rightly put out there. I'm a comedian. I organize comedy events and I put out comedians to host shows in Kumasi, we travel around and other things. Is it your plan that as you are doing this, you spotlight comedians and push them along? Because you ride by letting others. That's one. You are touring the country. I know Kumasi will not be the last stop. Would you also want to add tourism sites? You went to BT and mentioned the fact that people should come to Ghana, and MPP got the biggest investment from that. Why is it that when you come to other regions, you why don't you go to the tourism sites and take shots from there and just put a spotlight on one of our tourism centers? And I think when you start doing that, Abeku will also congratulate you very much for that. And that will help them push some money in
So,
there.
you know, even I don't remember your first question. So,
The first question is
on the comedy.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
the same one.
So, you were there when Sarkodie started.
Yeah, I was there in 2009.
How old are you?
I'm 40 something, I'm going.
Okay, Sarkodie. So, he's asking whether you put comedians together
Yes.
or what? A spotlight on comedians.
I have to be honest, I'm not going to sit here and lie and go like that was part of the plan. That's amazing. I think this Rapaholic, this Saturday, the PR wasn't that by Sarkodie. I'll say I'll take like 10% out of it. 90 was the content creators, comedians and all of that. And you guys brought the attention to this show. So I saw the importance of this very strong. When I did No Sound skits with Vespa, what's it? No, it's what is it? Ben Sound. It was crazy. So I think it's only right that we add that to it, so we'll consider it. And with the sightseeing, we're doing that. That's part of our activations. I think it's today or tomorrow that we'll be putting highlights on these places. Yes.
Okay. All right. One more question, unfortunately. Quickly. Let's put our hands together for him.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarkodie. So, Sarkodie, you said something about you getting artists being signed on your record label. Then we're in the car. But my question is, would you encourage me to get my own record label or be signed to a record label? Because they said Michelle also. One sign deal. But here's the case, I hope it's all the sign. If you Sarkodie and Michelle is on one sign deal, I can always sign it. So that's my question. I want to know, would you encourage me to do that?
That's beautiful. So years back, this question would have been very easy for me because I was in an artist state of mind. First, the shot is behind the second sign. Which I was so stand by because you said I was here, I want to help you. I know myself as Sarkodie. I'm boy beginning, I thought second to me that you can do it. It's not everyone who can do that. Some people just need that safety to be able to drive. I'm okay with the pressure that comes with it. You know when you don't have to do it, you know how that feels like. How you know this good song that you have to shoot within this week, and you miss an opportunity because there were no fans. I can label so there will be people who have signed to label who have done amazing. And some also went to label who was really bad. So I think there's a room for both sides. We look at yourself as people. It's saying on the team. I know myself as Sarkodie. If I'm not in charge of something and it goes wrong, I can blame myself for the rest of my life. So I like to be in charge, and I don't mind taking responsibility and going to meetings every day. I read my contracts with my lawyer, to the point in the picture that I have what to do. So knowing the type of person I am, I think I was naturally born a manager. So with such a person, it's hard for me to offload. I will still be too involved. So it makes sense for me to be in charge and do what I'm going to do and find the right people to work with. Some don't necessarily have to do that. They want to be creative, they just need a fair deal. If you're putting in money, this is what you get, this is what I'm bringing on board, this is what I get. We understand it, and that's it. So those are the type of people. So me, I'm an artist, so I sign a bit different. I treat it like the way I would want it. So I don't come in with a whole, I try to give the best deal that I can give to artists. If you're okay with it, you can ask Strongman and I'm open up. If you're in with it, of course, we'll do it. So it's not changing. If you read it, you're okay, we can work. If not, I totally understand. I will still be able to help whether you are under or not. Yes. Thank you.
Has he answered your question? He has? All right, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we cannot take any more questions for Sarkodie. Unfortunately. And I'm so sorry. I'm very sorry. Sarkodie, thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for Sarkodie. As he takes the seat, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you can do it better for me. Some of you are not clapping. You know you don't have tickets. Clap. Maybe I'll just see when you get tickets. Don't worry. Very shortly, we'll have our first panel discussion, after which my colleague NY will take over with the second panel discussion. But ladies and gentlemen, I told you that the Ashanti Regional Minister had joined us, and you'll be giving us some very brief remarks. Minister, you just joined us, but we've been talking about Kumasi Rising, helping the creative industry in Kumasi. And I've been following you on social media, so I see that you have an interest in that field. And so in whatever you're coming to say, I hope that you address that problem for us and tell us your plans and that of the NBC and how you're going to help the creatives in the Ashanti region. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Dr. Frank Abraham, is the Ashanti Regional Minister.
Thank you very much. Zach, a few others. Friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings from the Ashanti Regional Community Council, which is the seat of government here in Ashanti Region. And from the Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, or Sarkodie, I stand in for him as Regional Minister. As Sewa rightly said, every region has its own peculiar strengths and weaknesses. And the very reason why we needed to profile Ashanti region as it is. I remember I was speaking at one of the forums and they mentioned that there cannot be an Ashanti region without our culture, without our tradition, without our history, without our creatives, and without eco-tourism centers. So if you really want to grow as a nation, you look at where your strength is, specialize more in that area, and all the other aspects of your local development will move along that line. I remember once again, I was speaking with one of our diplomatic friends, and I made mention of this crucial thing that has helped Cuba, especially a lot. They realized that we have a lot of strength when it comes to medical knowledge, and we invested a lot of resources in medical knowledge, and it is driving every other aspect of their economy there in the country. Take Ashanti region. If you want to do away with our creatives, then definitely we are starting ourselves in the foot, and we will not be able to reach the level where we need to reach. Our creatives include those in the movie industry, and music, all the people can think about sports among others. That we already mentioned. It's been an industry that I've not just with, but I've given all the attention I need to give so that we'll be able to grow and develop same potentials to be able to move the region and develop, especially new talents. What I realized was that after interacting with a section of the key industry players, I realized that there was a disconnect between the older generation and then the upcoming ones. So what I also noticed was that the younger ones were engaged in what I call over-westernization of their talents. So if I really want to watch an action movie, I'll not want to Hollywood. If I really want to watch what I will resonate with my history as an Ashanti or as a Ghanaian or as an African, then I should find that in whatever you're doing. If it is really that I want to listen to your music and be related and get to learn about Africa, Ghana, Ashanti, then that should reflect in your choice of lyrics and how you compose your songs among others. But I noticed that disconnect was happening because there was little or close to no access to those who have worked the past before. So I want to thank SAC for that very bold decision in connecting with the young ones and giving them access to be able to learn from how they are working with them and how to be able to grow them and also be able to show them the path. And I want to encourage all other players in the sector, especially our older folks, that these young ones depend on you to be able to guide them so that they learn from your mistakes and also be able to build on your strength moving into the future. So yes, we want to see more of these forums, we want to see more of these gatherings, so that directly they can ask you all the questions that have been on their minds, and you will be able to answer them honestly as Sarkodie has done right here on this platform. So let's put our hands together for Sarkodie. As a government, definitely
My big brother Beku is here, and I can assure you that all the sectors from Lifestyle Experience, Ghana Tourism Authority, the Tourism Ministry, and all the other boards and commissions that are set up to help support this industry, they are all and out in making sure that we provide all the support you need to have as industry players in order that you would be able to thrive. Here in Ashanti region, we came up with the Ashanti Festival, which included almost every sector of the creative industry. And we are even doing it bigger come 2026. And we have started already. On Saturday in the morning, as a teaser ahead of our holiday, we are organizing our inter-district, inter-town football competition. And it will definitely go along with performance from our upcoming artists. Sarkodie himself is committed to coming to the district of Kumasi Park to come and create that program as well. And the sports minister will probably be there. So with all this, you should tell you that we are all and out making sure that we develop young potentials in every sector as far as the creatives are concerned. Sarkodie, I have a news for you. My very own mother, she saw your experts in the region, the crowd that were pulling and all that. She said that she wants tradition to meet Rapaholic. The great mother for Bangkok traditional area, Bangkok Hema said that she communicated to you directly that on Saturday she's not going to miss Rapaholic for anything. Beautiful free mothers. So definitely on Saturday we're going to show the state and definitely we have our full support. So ladies and gentlemen, and especially the young ones gathered here, let's take opportunities of some of these forums as provided by the initiatives of our veterans and definitely as provided by the other secretariats and boards by government. You have our fullest support. If you go anywhere and you are not allowed access to speak or to have a direct interaction with government, don't worry. Come to the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council. We have a representative. I am there. I'll open my doors for you. I'll block you to whoever I need to block you so that I will be able to do your family. Thank you very much.
Let's put our hands together one more time for Dr. Frank. And if Sarkodie can join me on stage, we want to take a picture because the minister has to go. And so the producers want us to take a picture. Mariam, please, if you can join us, Abedi Santana. Let's put our hands together for them. Thank you very much. You can take your seats now. And Abedi, please stay with me. Mariam, stay with me. We are going to have our panel conversation now. Okay. Please put your hands together for them. And I'd also like to invite Ruby Mommy Nelson. Let's put our hands together for her. She's joining this panel conversation. So I mentioned earlier that there will be two panel conversations. I'll be hosting the first one, and my colleague NY will be hosting the other one. This first panel conversation will be about tourism and events. And NY will be hosting a panel on the Kumasi creative economy and also the future of American music. I think we need one more, right? Mariam, do you have? Do you have? No? Tell me one more microphone. All right. So on this panel, we have Abebu Agui Santana. Let's put our hands together for him. He's the acting CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority. And you know, for many of you, I'm sure that you didn't know this, but Abebu used to work in Kumasi. He used to host a radio show here. You know? Hey, well, what's my name saying? I'm just there crying. I can't people who wouldn't know this. Abebu, thank you so much for making the time to join us. Abebu is a seasoned broadcaster who is now. Are you a politician? Would you say you are? You're a politician now. So which seat would you be eyeing in the next 3 years?
Well, thank you so much for this great opportunity. I want to thank Sam for bringing us together, and of course, for.
I'll go to them,
Yeah, I don't know what the future holds, but I've been a very strong and active political agent underground and been working. I currently serve as the communications chairman for this constituency. So
that's the constituency you're going to.
I've been working. So I don't know what the future holds, but definitely one day.
All right, thank you very much. Please, okay, Marion has a microphone. Marion Kiachiman is a seasoned fireball marketer. She's a brand consultant and a fintech professional with over 18 years plus experience across multiple multinationals and sectors. She has developed and implemented novel marketing concepts through traditional, digital, and experiential channels to connect with diverse customer segments that drive business value and social impact. This she did through her brand and marketing strategies developed in senior roles that she has held in many companies. And you heard Sarkodie talk about she being the brain behind the exhibition. She's worked with Vodafone, she's worked with Standard Chartered, she's worked with Swivel Africa and many other companies. Currently, she's the COO for the Akuna Group Ghana, a global media and entertainment company founded by Idris Elba. Marion, thank you so much for joining us. We're very grateful that you made it tonight. And also, we've been joined by entertainment to talk about how long we know each other. Please, I think, with the exception of Ruby, I've known both of you, but I think I've known you the longest, since I was a baby, right? Yeah, Marion is my big sister actually. Thank you for coming.
And thank you for proving everybody right that you are potential and you are talent.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Marion. And entertainment journalist Ruby Mummy Dinelson is here in Kumasi. Ruby, is people in Kumasi have very interesting names. There's Atopa. And Ruby Mummy Nelson. Ruby. The mommy. Your mother called you the mommy. The Nelson. All right. Thank you very much. Nana. Sorry? Nana Yetiani. Oh, Nana Yetiani. Okay. Oh, I see. You're welcome. If Ethan Doris will allow, after the session, I'll take a few questions. But I mean, let me start with you. You are the Deputy CEO for the Tourism Authority. We've had many conversations about how poorly resourced tourist sites in the country are, especially in the Ashanti region, being known for what it is. I first of all want to know what your government's plans are to revive the tourism industry.
Well, thank you so much. And I sat through listening to Sam, and he certainly delivered, a message that for me I think is like a master class. This is not just a symposium, but opportunity to even tap into his knowledge reservoir and how he has positioned himself, strategically, consistently over the decade, becoming one of the most iconic brands we have in our country, a major export to the world. It tells you that the potentials are there. Now, our tourism site and attractions in itself doesn't sell. What sells is experience. And the Ashanti Regional Minister just mentioned what he has done, the initiative. It is not a side attraction. It's boring going to people's castle. Or what I can see there is the same story every day. But you need to create an experience around it. I was in Mombasa for Jesus, which is also a tourist site attraction. But in the evening, they do jazz concerts in the lawns in the castle, which is similar to the People's Castle and the Lunar Castle. So this is where creativity and tourism needs to connect and come out. We, as the government regulator agency, do not own the creative. We own the policy, we own the regulation, but we need to have collaboration with artists so that we can turn our site around. There should be something around the site and attractions. So before we wait for heavy capital investment for infrastructure, facilitate, we can still do something. And that is why I said I want to commend the Ashanti Regional Minister for the initiative of Ashanti First. Sak and I, and the team, we just came from Nkrofo. Sak was leaving the stage around 5 p.m. Kofi Kinata came on stage after 5 something p.m. We ended the show around 8 a.m. in the morning. I'm talking about 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. Pulled people from Hafasni, Elupo, Inside, Jomoro, Valujua, Takradi Second, over 20,000 people filling the community or the destination of Nkrofo, a very small community. This is the power of creating. But what is that Nkrofo? It's Kwame Nkrumah's birthplace. That is just one side attraction. It cannot put 20,000 people there. It takes creative. So if we don't appreciate the power of what creatives can do in driving our tourism, there's a super infrastructure at Nkrofo. Apart from Maha Beach Resort, Adzim Beach Resort, and Venice Beach Resort, there are a few hotels and hospitality facilities around. But the concept itself, due numbers to Nkrofo, to direct traffic to the renovation that Honorable Kofi Amankwa has done at Kwame Nkrumah's birthplace. So I'm not saying that government is shying away from its responsibility of putting facelift into our tourism site infrastructure. But our tourism product, that tourism product, is culture and heritage. The site attraction talks about atmosphere. And I appreciated his music that says that he tells storytelling, but not only the storytelling, what we put in it. So we have Menchia Museum, we have Prepared Second Museum here. What have we done as artists about it? We can drive numbers there. And where there's capital injection in the economy, that is where you're going to see the site attractions.
But Sarkodie has said that he is ready, he and his colleagues are ready. Are you ready to put in the money?
His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama is the first president to have created a ministry of creative art. Hitherto.
And he's the first person to have done what?
Created the ministry called Creative Arts. It's President Mahama in 2013. It means that there is access, a gateway for creatives to come to government work engagement. Hitherto, creatives were going to Ministry of Chieftaincy and Culture or what days. It was like a Ministry of Chieftaincy. They put
But another government also set up the office that saw the beyond the return, or what's the called?
See, we are not doing comparison.
Yeah, return. And we are not. But you are saying your power is effect. Let's not be politics.
You ask me what is your government doing? I'm a politician, I need to answer that. You ask what is your government doing? I'm saying that it's a process. We first established a ministry called Creative Arts. It is not only tourism, culture, and creative art. These are three industries put together under one sector.
Okay, so, but you've been in power for 8 months. What has the ministry done?
What we have done
so far?
The Black Star experience. Look, wait, in December you're going to see the biggest concert.
Is this concert limited to Accra? Because it's one of the things that I want to talk about.
We're coming to Kumasi.
Because year of return was in Accra, beyond the return was in Accra. There was nothing in Accra. You are all here. We said, well, your last time experience is coming to Kumasi. When exactly? So that they hold you to it.
We are coming to Kumasi.
When?
The program product, the December engage will be launched in October. And we'll highlight all the events across the country. Okay, we'll highlight the events that will take place across the country. But so let me lay and emphasize the point, the roadmap. Some said there's a disconnect. The creatives know that there's a disconnect. Where do you go to if you are creative and you want to engage that with ministry? There was nothing like that. I said before it was the Ministry of Chieftaincy, but now there's a creative arts agency which has been established. It was also established by President Mahama. But fast forward, we need to have a deeper engagement with the creative and see how best we can support them. All right. So the institutional framework has been laid down. Now it takes the artists to approach us. I don't want us to blame gaming. Sam is very smart. He has put together a team, an ecosystem that understands business. We've been doing politics with our creatives without looking at how best we can tap into resources and opportunities around. Madam Miriam was is the brain behind
A lot of the things that
she is not directly into our creative economy. Though she is a creative person, she's not an artist. But she understands marketing, brand communication, and how she can position such an iconic brand and tap, leverage on her influence to make money. That is what we need to talk about. We need to show our artists the way how to make money.
So that's what I'm asking you. That what is the plan of the government to show them the way to make the money? Very well, can I tell you very shortly? You answer this question. So what are you doing? Because now the artists are ready. You said they should approach you, but when you were campaigning, you said that you're going to help the creative arts industry. Yeah. So how exactly are you going to help them?
Okay. So Blackstar experiences on 7 pillars. And the 7 pillars are 1, fashion, music, gastronomy. So the entire ecosystem of the creative. Every artist needs to register with a creative arts agency.
Sarkodie, have you registered? Not yet. Okay. Have you registered? You didn't know you had to register. They didn't know.
So if you go to South Africa, every artist is under the National Art Council of South Africa.
But they don't know. In Ghana, they don't even know. So how do they register?
Now they know.
But now they know. Please. So every artist has to register with the creative arts. Will you give them some money, some grants?
Okay, so when you register with the creative art agency, you have to sign some memorandum of understanding because the creative art agency is going to be like your agent to also solicit and even negotiate for deals for you.
Is that so?
Yes.
Okay. We need to have an extensive conversation on this. Are you willing to sign an MOU with the creative arts agency? Somebody you are. Hey. Are you
individually? I can.
Well, why let you sign it though? That's another thing.
I can bring you a deal and tell you that so I need you to host maybe Africa Marketing Conference in Kenya.
Okay.
What's your fee? You tell me, I tell you, okay. I also take commission. Okay. When you are exactly.
Oh, you give them business and take commission. Exactly. All right, Maya, let me hold your horses.
I think we should all just remember where we're here. Show business, right? And it's a what? It's a business. It's very important to remember that we all have a part to play. Like Abeku said, he has to make sure there's legislation, he has to make sure there's policy. Then I get excited about investing. My founder, Idris Elba, could have gone to any other country. But he said, Mariam, we are going to invest in Ghana. I thought I was going to get some. We are spotlighting creators globally. We are building infrastructure. We are catalyzing the inclusive growth of the sector. We are talking storytelling. We are talking original content IP. We are talking content monetization. We are talking intellectual property management. We are talking distribution and immersive experiences. When we talk about the castle experience, how many of you have been to Warwick Castle or have been to Kiva Castle? You walk in and you spend a minimum of £200. So experiences is core to everything that we do. Because when you go and you experience it and you love it, you come back, you bring your friends. Why do we all rush to Disney? Why do we rush to Legoland? Because it's an experience. It's an ecosystem of an experience. You watch the movie, you buy the merchandise, you visit the park, and what else? You make sure that at every point of that experience, you enjoy it. But the organizations like ourselves, Akuna, that have to make sure that there's that intersection between the creative and government, right? So when that intersection happens, that's where the dialogue happens. Because the government is not the one going to hold your hand on what to do. The government creates the ecosystem. We are currently in talks with the government around tax incentives for the film industry. That's a big conversation. How many of you have watched Game of Thrones? How many of you have watched Transformers? How many of you have watched Wheel of Time? Wheel of Time, one episode costs $10 million. That is the budget for one episode. They are currently on season 3. So imagine, a season is 10 episodes. So it's $100 million budget for one season. Imagine a movie like that in Ghana. A couple of weeks ago, my chairman was in town, and I'm excited to say that we are working on a couple of movies that will be put on key platforms showing Ghana. There was something that Sawa and Sarkodie talked about earlier. And I'm very big on mindset. I'm very big on narrative. Funny enough, I was having that conversation with Bulldog earlier. Why would we say filling the O2 is the apex? Right? I'm here to talk business, so let me talk a few numbers. The O2 Arena seats 20,000 people. Yeah? Alright. Put this in context. The population of West Africa is 466 million. West Africa, not Africa. West Africa, 466 million. Okay. Population of Kumasi, who knows? 4 million. So if we change the narrative to filling the stadium every weekend with 4 million people, who's going to go to Arena?
Nobody.
Thank you. So that's the kind of mindset we should have. How are we filling our stadiums? How are we building arenas? How are we moving to our cinemas? How many of you know that in Ghana we had 60 filled cinemas? How many of you have heard of Rec Cinema? Odeon Cinema? Exactly. Where are our cinemas? What is a Saturday you want to go out with your wife? You want to go out with your girlfriend? Apart from pizza, what does it mean? Right? But, yeah. But remember that the experience of culture, the experience of entertainment is where our mind sits. DJ Mesta is in the house, so we can give it up for him. He's not just a DJ, he's more than a DJ. He has extensions to his DJ. He has verticals of activities. So you may experience it one as a DJ, but you experience his event. And that's an extension of him. That's an extension of his business. Angel is a talent manager. He's made business out of a product, Sarkodie. He continues to make talent. He continues to make money from talent. That is the business. So it's very key that we remember that the narrative we want to talk about starts with us. We own the media, we are the media. So if that narrative isn't shifted by us, it's not a doctor, it's not the engineer that's going to change it. So from today, let's commit to positive media. Let's commit to investment in the culture, in the investment. You remember that this sector is power. Economic power, social power, technological power. The beauty of our sector right now is digital. Digital democratizes everything. There are people who never stayed in China, but you talk to them about China, you think that he lives at the airport because of the power of digital. There are social media platforms, there are content platforms, so now there's no excuse. We can't feel sorry for ourselves, but we have to believe in ourselves, we have to work together and make sure that we make money as a business. Sarkodie mentioned about the importance about the people around you. The people make you, you make the people. You have a business manager, you have a talent manager, you have a head of security, you have a head of PR. If you want it to be a business, be a business. There's ChatGPT. You didn't go to you don't have an MBA, go on to ChatGPT. How do I form a business? I'm a product. How do I make sure this business has all the legs of the business? And to ensure that that business is thriving. Because if it doesn't thrive, then you don't eat. If you don't eat, you start being disgruntled. You start being disgruntled, then you say the system is not supporting you. The system is not a human being. The system is an ecosystem. Right? So I just want to end by saying that the power is all here within ourselves. Let's not look anywhere else. But if my chairman can see the investment and the opportunity of Africa and say, Mariam, I've done Hollywood, I've done the UK, I've done it, but I want to settle in Africa. That's a big thing. How many of us are hairdresser students? Hairdresser students. Well, let me tell you something. My university journey started right here. I was part of the maiden class for communication design. I studied advertising and marketing. It was so nostalgic walking back to school after 25 years, but I'm excited because I picked something from here, and it's made me who I am. So Kumasi is truly rising. Thank you.
There are many people who watch Sarkodie and you know, everything that he said here earlier about the Raponic experience, the exhibition, and even the brands that you've gotten into to work with. And I'm sure that many artists would want to walk that same path. Share with us some of the things that working with Sarkodie, you know, made you learn about the music industry that you want other people who want to be like you to learn, you know, to be able to walk in that same path.
Yes, so
Very quickly.
interestingly, I have walked the music journey for quite a bit. During my time with Vodafone, I worked on projects like 020 Live, Icons, the GMA, because I was head of brand engagement. So I have been around the talent conversation for quite a bit. When I worked with Ogilvy, I worked on Miss Ghana, managing Miss Ghana's the Miss World. So I have seen the journey of talent. I have been in the back end of the business of the creative economy. Interestingly, the conversation and the engagement with Sarkodie wasn't an easy one. We had worked closely through Angel, because for me, I've always believed in the business around the talent. So I always went through their structure. You know, when somebody would say, oh, Sarkodie doesn't pick his call, Sarkodie is not supposed to pick his call. Sarkodie works with a team. So when you want to reach the talent, you go through the structure. Why? I don't think you walk into an organization and they say, I want to see the CEO. When you want to go and see Mr. Big, what do? You get to the reception, you send a letter. The reception will take you to his front desk. They will take you somewhere. Then you go through the process to meet him, true or false? So let us give the same respect to the business. And that is how it becomes a business. So for a while, Angel and I have worked very closely on projects in Vodafone. And when I transitioned to the financial sector, we had that conversation again. I called Angel. I said, Angel, I moved into the financial sector, and as a creative person, and with all that I've done, and with the kind of budgets that I know, change the lives of the creatives within the sector with the kind of marketing campaigns I need to run and the products I need to launch, can we explore a conversation with Sarkodie? And interestingly, Angel pushed really hard, and that is why I talk about the power of your team. Because if your team isn't there screaming for you in that room, you've lost it. So for all my future artists, make sure the team around you is screaming for you in that room, because you won't be there. So if the person around you is not screaming for you in that boardroom, you've lost it. Fast forward, Angel comes to me and says, Mariam, Charlie, this one will be hard. I said, no worries. What do I have to do? And he says, Mariam, let's have a visit with the man at the top. So I drove to his house and I shared my vision. And I could understand his sentiments, because it's very difficult for artists to really appreciate, like he said, sometimes we corporates, we get lost in a little, lingua and jargons. So you ask yourself, really, is this organization for me or for what they want? But I said, Sarkodie, there's an opportunity for us to change the narrative. Here's an opportunity for us to change the lives of the creatives that will come after you. So let's walk this journey of transforming digital banking or having creatives understand the value of the financial sector in their business. And at that time, we were rolling out a product called SC Mobile, which was the first digital bank in Ghana. He thought about it and he got a message. He sent me a message, I think, about a week after, because we had done a garden party and he was the artist on bill. Then he sent me a message and said, Mariam, let's do it. I tell you for free, my budget was nothing close to his rate card, but he believed in the vision of what we could do. I shared with him genuinely what I think we could do with it. Little did we know that it was going to blow up. I tell you, we had a situation where this product, but remember that when you're looking at marketing from a funnel perspective, the top of mind awareness is what sparks, is the catalyst. And then through the funnel, the business gets value. So when he created the awareness about the product, everybody wanted it. That's the business side, right? So at the point where that product was giving us, prior to the product, we opened an average of about 2,000 accounts a month. When Sarkodie came on board and we had this digital product, we were signing on 2,000 customers a day. Imagine the revenue of the business. So it's very important that when, as an artist, you work with a corporation, remember that go back and ask the corporation, what did my value give you? How much did you get from my support to you? So when you do an ad for family, if you do an ad for Telecel, or you do an ad for a bank, go back and say, this product I'm pushing, what was the revenue? Then the conversation is different. Because the revenue you get, or you gave them, changes your conversation for the next organization. So post that, another bank was approached, which is First Bank, which he currently is on now. But you see, the value of the bank, which they saw, was why another bank came. So you need to be able to be given that value. But remember, like I always say, a creative would always have a certain mindset. And then I myself, being partly creative and being in corporate, understood what would frustrate him, understood what would excite him, and understood what I have to see at certain points to make sure that he understands what I'm saying. Because if you put oil and water together, it won't mix. But you need to find that middle, right? So that in that middle, you meet yourself halfway. So where I would say, Sarkodie, I want you to say X, Y, Z of the product. I said, Mariam, but the people won't buy it. I'm going to make a song and put it in there. And that was a song with Joey B. So you would listen to the song, and then you would say,